from Arkansas's #1 trusted source for weather. This is a severe weather alert.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. This is Chief Forecaster coming back here once again here to give you guys a live update on this tornado warning right now. That's going to go for, I do believe it's going to be for Crawford and Washington counties up here in northwestern Arkansas here. So bear me for just a little bit here. I am trying to get Roku up and going here, so that should be taken care of here in just a second here, making sure that's going to go. Coming up here in just a little bit here, and I'm also going to make sure that we're live on Twitter. One of my guys can make sure that we're live on Facebook and on YouTube. I'm making sure YouTube is up and going right now. Facebook looks good. I'm going to check on the Twitter side of things here, and I think we're going to be good to go. So bear me for just a moment, and we will get that taken care of here, guys. So Twitter should be coming up here in just a second. Roku's going to be coming up here in just a little bit as well. So, my folks up here in northwestern Arkansas, you need to take your tornado precautions immediately. Get away from windows, put as many walls to yourself and the outside as possible, and get to that center, most interior part of your home immediately here. And that's going to go for our folks up here in Evansville. This is north and west of the community of Cedarville up here. This is kind of reminiscent to, the last couple of events up here in northwestern Arkansas where you've had these tornado warnings, what we call these kill CS tornado type situations here where you get the circulation along the line. This is what we're dealing with here, guys. So looks like we should be good to go on Twitter. Should be coming up here in just a second. There we go. So we're now live on Twitter, live on YouTube, live on Facebook, and I'm double checking Roku. Roku should be coming up here relatively soon here. It may be a little bit of a delay over there because I have it pulled up on our screen over here. So let's go ahead and take a look over here, and what we're going to do is we're going to go over to our rotation detection here. Now, if you guys know full well, this is what we look for in terms of trying to figure out where the tornado potential is going to be. So always remember when you see this product that when you see the green, it's going towards the radar. So you're looking at this from the perspective of Fort Smith's radar. So the green is going towards that radar, the red is going away from the radar, and you're getting that circulation. So this is where it's going to be right in here. It's going to be just to the northwest of the community of Uniontown or northwest of the community of Cedarville. This particular circulation is moving to the northeast at about 25 miles per hour. This hasn't been really moving super duper fast. It was moving pretty decently in eastern Oklahoma, got to the Arkansas-Oklahoma border, and it kind of slowed down a little bit here. So this tornado warning is going to go until 3 o'clock this afternoon. This is going to go for our following folks. It's up here in Crawford and Washington counties. I want to stress right now, if you don't know where you live, you don't know where your counties are and stuff like that, pay attention to the bottom of under my camera. It's going to give you where you are. It's going to tell you where the section is, stuff like that. So right now, Crawford, Washington counties, that's for our folks up there in northwestern Arkansas. This is not in Little Rock. This is not impacting anyone in southwest Arkansas or southeast, etc. This is mainly going to be for our folks up here in northwestern Arkansas at this current time. Still share this information out, because if you do that, it really will help get the information out, and it could help save some lives up here, especially for those that are in the tornado warning at this current time here. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to switch over to our rotation product here, and what we're going to do is we're going to put the rotation pretty much, like I said before, just to the north and west of the community of Cedarville or just southwest of Evansville. And then what I'm going to do here is I'm going to put a track on this storm. Give me just a second here. There we go. I've got that pulled up now. So I'm going to put a track on the storm here, and it's going to be right in here where this area of rotation is going to be. So we're going to move it to the north and east at about 30 miles per hour. So this is going to go for our following folks. This is going to go for the Morrill area and the community of Cane Hill, Perry Grove, and also Farmington up here. Keep in mind, that's going to be for our folks in Crawford and Washington counties. So anyone in this area, make sure that they're seeking shelter immediately. I do understand it's 2 o'clock in the afternoon on a weekday. A lot of folks are worried about the kids in school, etc. I want to stress this right now that do not attempt to try to get your kids out of school. Okay, I want to make that crystal clear. Do not attempt to try to get them out of school right now here. Let them stay in that school building. The school districts, they go over the tornado warning protocols every single spring. Your kid is in the most safest building possible. You need to worry about yourself right now here. You need to get yourself into shelter. If you're at work, you're at home, you want to find that center, lowest part of your home. Notice it's not mean getting into a crawl space or anything like that. If you're traveling right now, I want to stress that you find a gas station. There's plenty of gas stations, grocery stores, restaurants. Find that sturdy shelter and get there as quickly as you can here. And I want to stress this as well. This is one of those situations where the rotation, this is not going to be like a situation where you see out in Kansas or Oklahoma or something like that, where you get this monster supercell and this sustained rotation and stuff like that, and it's going to produce this big old wedge. It's not going to be like that today. Today is going to be a situation where the entire line is going to have to be watched for these brief, very, very quick spin-ups that could produce a tornado within a very little to no warnings notice, and then they go back up, correct? So something that we'll have to watch very closely is going to be for our folks south of the Evansville area. This is in far northwestern Arkansas. I want to make this clear. This is for our folks in Crawford and in Washington counties here. If you do not know where you live, if you need that information, look under my camera right now here. It's going to tell you everything you need to know in terms of where the counties are and where you are in the state at this current point here. Okay, so right now, folks in northwestern Arkansas, my folks in Fayetteville, Perry Grove, West Fork, this is kind of my first alert to you guys. It's going to be a question to see how long this rotation actually sustains itself, because what's going on is this is what we call a kill CS type setup today. Basically, what's going to happen is you're going to have these rotations along the line itself. That's going to have to be watched. So 1 second, it can produce this really strong area of rotation. Next second, the rotation goes away, and then it hands off to kind of other areas along the line itself. So that's something that we're going to have to watch as we move into later on this afternoon and into this evening here. Not only for our folks in West Arkansas, but also for our folks over here and going into central and into southern Arkansas in later time here. So let's zoom this down. I do have some good news here that the rotation is starting to weaken. Now keep in mind, like I mentioned before, this is what's going to be the case today. You're going to have a situation where these rotations are not going to be sustained for a long period of time. They're going to spin up, they're going to be strong, then they're going to pulse down, they're going to go back. They're going to kind of cycle today. So this is why I'm stressing, if you're under a tornado warning, if anyone gets under a tornado warning today, you got to act quick. You got to get shelter, no messing around, no trying to see it for yourself. You're not really going to see these tornadoes today either, because they're going to be rain routes. As a matter of fact, let's take a look at the normal way that you would kind of look, you see on your weather apps and stuff like that. You see this is just salted in with a lot of heavy rainfall and a lot of damaging winds up here. So this is an area that's just kind of embedded along the line itself. So if you're in Evansville, or if you're in Morrill or Cane Hill or Perry Grove, you're trying to go outside and see this, you're not going to see it. All you're going to see is a wall of rain and clouds moving your way, and by the time you get to see that circulation, it's going to be too late. So keep that in mind. Like I said, for my folks up here in northwestern Arkansas, it's Crawford and also Washington counties up here. Let's go ahead and zoom this down, and I'm going to put some road networks on. Give me just a second. We'll get this information up. So right now, I would say the area of rotation is going to be in the newest scan. Still showing that broad rotation. I would say it's just to the west of Highway 59 right now. I will go ahead and put a new track up here, because you can see this area of rotation. It looked very impressive coming out of Oklahoma, but watch, as soon as it got into northwestern Arkansas, rotation is starting to broaden out. This is what we want to see. We don't want to see a tornado on the ground doing destruction or anything like that. We want to see where, if it goes warm, the rotation starts to broaden out. This becomes more of a wind issue and heavy rainfall issue, and then that's it. That's how you can negate the tornado, the tornado threat here, guys. Okay, so this is what I've got right now. Is right over Highway 59, just south of the Evansville community. It's moving northeast at about 30 miles per hour here. But if this were to continue, I wouldn't be surprised tornado warning gets canceled, because the rotation has broadened out. But I want to stress, along the line itself, let's go ahead and kind of take a look. Along this line that's pushing through western Arkansas right now, we're going to have to watch every single one these little notches along the line, that's where your tornado threat is going to maximize for this afternoon and into this evening, and not only for our folks in West Arkansas, but for areas further to the east as well. So what I will do is I'll kind of put it back to the normal way we look at things here. I will zoom down to this. This is going to be right near the Evansville area. Let's take a look at the rotation strength real quickly here. And should be coming up here in just a second. The area of rotation, as you can see right there, just south of the Evansville area here. Now let's take a look at the newest scan. Newest scan should be coming in. That's going to put it right on Highway 59. So that's why we have to continue to monitor these areas of rotation, because that's what they're going to do. They're going to show signs of broadening out. Then they're going to strengthen. Then it's going to kind of go in a cycle. So that's something that you have to keep an eye on throughout the day today here. So what I will do is I will go back over to the rotation detection. Should be coming up here in just a second. And it should be right there on Highway 59, right here. So that's where your area of rotation is going to be. Tornado warning is going to go until 3 o'clock. We're going to put a track. I will put that circulation right on 59 right now. So if you're on 59, you need to find a gas station, find a grocery store, find a restaurant, find a sturdy shelter, and get there immediately here, guys. Okay, so I'm going to track this to the northeast at about 30 miles per hour. So it's going to give our folks, let's see if I can get this to move. There we go. So Perry Grove, the Farmington area, even for our folks further northeast from there, that's going to be from the Fayetteville area, anyone on Interstate 49, anyone that's traveling on Highway 62 right now. Just kind of keep an eye on things here, guys. Like I said before, this is going to be a situation today that if a warning gets issued, you don't need to be lollygagging around. You need to be finding shelter immediately at this point. Okay, so double checking everything here. Chandler, I see what you had said. The rotation over Locksburg, that's down there in southwest Arkansas. Let me know if that goes warned. Right now, we have the only tornado warning up here in northwestern Arkansas. Looks like there's a severe thunderstorm warning now that's toward Pass. That's going to go for Crawford, and I do believe that's going to be for Crawford and Washington here. So give me just a minute, and I'll pull that information up. Yeah, it's going to be for Crawford and Washington counties until 3:15. So the thunderstorm is located along the line, extending 9 miles east of Stillwell, 3 miles northwest of Rudy, moving north at 25 miles per hour here. So that's going to be the situation today, guys. You know, this is not going to be a situation where you have these monster supercells that produce this monster tornadoes. It's going to be a situation where you have these circulations along the line itself. So you not only have to watch the tornado threat, but damaging winds and also the hail threat will be a problem with here. Now, fortunately for us, since this is a pretty relatively fast-moving line of storms, you shouldn't have to worry too much about a flooding threat. But we'll have to keep an eye on that here, guys. Okay, so what I'm gonna do for just a moment is, looks like that tornado warning is still in effect. We're gonna go over to our tornado debris tracker here, guys. This is from Farmers Insurance. Patrick, thank you so much for providing us with this product here. And what I'm gonna do, should be coming up here in just a little bit, is we're gonna zoom down to this storm. Okay, so that's going to be Winslow, that's Stillwell. Pretty much circulation's right over Highway 59 right now. And there's your product here. And right now, not seeing any indication, this is great news, not seeing any indication that this thing's on the ground, doing damage or anything like that. But we will keep an eye on it here as the storm moves out towards the north and east here, guys. Okay, so we're going to go back over to our other radar here, guys. And this just kind of tells the story of what's going on. So tornado warning still remains in effect till 3 o'clock. Let's go back over to your radar here, guys. And it's going to be right in here. Like I said, the circulation's right over Highway 59 right now. Looks like it just moved north of Highway 59. It's just south of the community of Evansville. Let's see, that's 59. Let's zoom down a little bit further. And that's going to be, let's see, that's 59. There's your county line. Ray Road, also Dubs Mountain Road as well. So right now, the area of rotation, the circulation is pretty much stuck right over Highway 59. I'll put a track on this real quickly here. And like I said before, just based off of what I've seen so far, not seeing any indication that this thing is doing damage or anything like that, which is amazing news. That's something that we always want to hear whenever we have one of these tornado warning coverages, is that we don't want to hear somebody getting hurt or damaged or this thing on the ground or anything like that. But we'll continue to kind of keep an eye on that here, guys. So West Fork, the Farmington area, and also Fayetteville. Fayetteville's going to be coming at you about 330s here. So keep in mind, that's if that rotation holds its own. That's if it continues for that long. That will be a problem for our folks along Interstate 49 and also Highway 62 as well here. So something that we'll keep an eye on here in the West Fork area, the Farmington area, and also the Fayetteville area as well. So not taking anything away from northwestern Arkansas. We are going to keep an eye on these cells down here in southwestern Arkansas. Chandler's watching the situation very closely. There has been some signs of rotation, especially the one in Polk County, Polk, near Mena. Right now, no tornado warning in place, but these are severe thunderstorm warning with a what's called tornado possible tag here. So what's the difference between a tornado warning and a severe thunderstorm warning that has tornado possible? Well, the severe thunderstorm warning is going to have 60-mile-per-hour winds and large hail regardless, but there is some concern of a potential rotation along that, which could provide some issues, right? So that's why they had TORPOS. But a tornado warning means that radar has officially detected an area of rotation that is capable of producing a tornado here. So there's two differences between tornado possible and also an official tornado warning right now here. So anyone down here in Southwest Arkansas, if you're under this severe thunderstorm warning, treat it as if you were under a tornado warning right now, because you don't know which one of these circulations are going to produce a tornado here. So keep that in mind for our folks down there in southwestern Arkansas. But for right now, our attention is going to be for our folks up here in northwestern Arkansas. Looks like it's starting to get going once again here. And something that you'll notice, even on reflectivity here, you'll start noticing the rotation really start to pick up. Right now, it looks like it's right over Highway 59. It's going to be going over 265. This will be a problem for our folks that are traveling on Highway 62 and also Interstate 49 at this current point here. So West Fork, Farmington, and Fayetteville, make sure that you're taking your tornado precautions immediately here. Chandler, power outages are now up to 1,133. So let me double check a couple of things here. Right now, not seeing any reports. I will kind of keep an eye on that. Let me double check and make sure. But not seeing any reports right now here. This thing will be on the ground or anything like that. Chandler, let me see who else is in here. It looks like it's just Chandler right now. If you have any reports, feel free to let me know. But for right now, it looks like I'm not really seeing anything right now here, guys. So I want to say right now that I haven't heard anything, but I want to make this crystal clear, okay? And I see folks do this all the time. Folks, keep the reports accurate on the comments, okay? I have not heard a single confirmed report of anything being on the ground. I have emergency management, Chandler's with us. I have not heard anything of any tornadoes being on the ground so far, okay? Stop posting that stuff in the comments, because what it's doing is it is creating anxiety, it's creating panic. Folks, we do not need that, okay? If you post anything in the comments like that, you make sure that it is 100% accurate. I want to make that crystal clear. I have not heard anything of any sort down there in Southwest Arkansas or in West Arkansas. Even with the one that's currently warned right now, I have not heard anything of it being on the ground. Obviously, with a tornado warning, you want to treat it as such. But right now, there has been no confirmed tornadoes. Stop freaking these folks out in the comments, guys. I want to make that crystal clear at this point, okay? So right here along Evansville, there's your new update for the tornado warning here. Let's go ahead and take a look at that real quick. And that's going to be just to the south and east of the Evansville area and just south of the Morrill area here. So Heidi says there's been multiple trees down in Locksburg. Right now, Heidi, if you can let me know if it's been, I don't know if it's been, National Service has deemed that as tornado damage or damaging winds. But we do have some trees down there near the Locksburg area in southwest Arkansas here. So that's not correlating with that other one that was in that would be Polk County, I do believe here. But let me know if you hear anything in terms of it's tornado damage or if it's damaging winds. Another thing I'm worried about too today is a lot of folks are focusing on the tornado threat and not really focused on the damaging wind threat. These are 60 to 70 mile per hour winds that are going to be coming in, folks. So you're going to have that power outage threat. You're going to have that tree damage threat, regardless if these things produce tornadoes or not. So please keep that in mind, especially if you're under a severe thunderstorm warning at any point here. And Heidi says they are reporting that as thunderstorm wind damage right now here. So that doesn't surprise me, especially with this line of storms packing a punch like this. We will have to watch out for that power outage threat here, guys. But for our folks up here in northwestern Arkansas, the tornado warning still continues, mainly for our folks up here in Washington County now. The one in northwestern Crawford and southeastern Adair County, which is in Oklahoma, has been canceled. So this is mainly going to be for Washington County now. This is 9 miles east of Stillwell, moving northeast at 35 miles per hour. Main threat's going to be for the potential, obviously, for potential for tornado. The tornado storm will remain mainly over the rural areas in southwestern Washington counties here. So, folks that live along, that's going to be south and east of the community of Evansville, south of Morrow. This is going to be south and west of the West Fork area, and also south and west of Fayetteville, and also the Farmington area here. So, folks, if you know anyone in these areas, that's along Highway 265, that's Interstate 49, Highway 62. Make sure that they're taking their tornado precautions immediately here, guys. Okay, so this is going to be the area of rotation. I'm going to take it to the north and east at about, let's go 40. Let's go ahead and just kind of round it up to 40 miles per hour here. So the Morrill area, the Cane Hill area, over towards Perry Grove, Farmington, Fayetteville, the Tony Town area, Johnson, M Springs, Springdale, Lowell, and also Rogers. This is going to be your time frame that you're going to have to keep an eye on for this potential area of rotation. Keep in mind, that is if it makes it that far north and east. There's when you deal with these types of situations here, they either will make it and continue their updraft, or they will weaken, broaden out, and this becomes a damaging wind problem for our folks up here in northwestern Arkansas. So right now, looks like I said before, it's 1 mile south of Locksburg. That's in Sevier County. Looks like thunderstorm wind damage here. 911 dispatch reports multiple trees down south of the Locksburg area here. Okay, so that's going to be down there in southwest Arkansas along the line of storms that is pushing to the east at this point. Okay, so right now, let's zoom down. Let's take a look at this. I'm going to go over to our rotation strength real quickly here. Right now, it's going to be right over or just to the east and northeast of the community of Evansville. This is going to be for our folks up here in northeastern Arkansas. Right now, this is showing strong rotation here. Now, I want to arch a little bit of a caution with this product here. You're looking aloft up here in western Arkansas. So the radar beam goes up. It's looking at pretty much at the, I would say, about the mid-levels of the atmosphere up here when you turn into rotation strength. So right now, it is showing strong rotation, but is that connecting down to the surface? That's going to be the question, number one question that we'll have to keep an eye on here. Hence why the tornado warning still remains in effect. Let's take a look at the rotation itself. And right now, it looks like the rotation itself is going to be just to the east of the community of Evansville. I would put it right now on Hell Mountain Road. If I pronounce that name wrong, I apologize. But that's going to be just to the east of the community of Evansville, south of Morrill. And I do believe that's going to be south and west of Highway 45 up here. And then also this is going to be 265 that's going to be running kind of through Washington County here. So this isn't pretty much, I wouldn't say rural area. There's folks that do live out here, communities that do live out here, stuff like that. So this is kind of away from the major populated area, if that makes sense. So right now, the area of rotation, the broad area of rotation, still remains in effect for our folks over here just to the northeast of Evansville, or just south of the Morrill area. Cane Hill, let's see, that's going to be Perry Grove, Farmington, even up towards Fayetteville. I'm keeping an eye on the storm. I'm getting my safe spot ready to go. When we talk about your safe spot, by the way, that's getting to that center, lowest, most interior part of your home. That could be a kid's room, a bathroom. It could be a closet, just somewhere away from the windows here whenever you deal with this situation. Now, fortunately, just looking at this, in terms of the rotation itself, it looks like it is starting to broaden out. Like I said before, this is what's tricky about today's setup here, is it's going to do this. It's going to give you that false sense of hope that it's kind of broadening out and, this is going away. And then the net skin comes in and the rotation picks right back off where it left off. So that's why you have to stay on these storms. You have to continue to monitor it. Even if you're not in the tornado warning polygon itself, make sure, especially my folks in Perry Grove, Cane Hill, that you are watching this situation closely and you are ready to seek shelter at any given moment's time here. Like I said before, I know a lot of folks are going to be worried about their kiddos, especially it being 2:47 in the afternoon. Kids get let out at 3:15. I want to stress, if any tornado warnings get issued between now and 3:15 and it goes for a pretty majorly populated area, do not attempt to try to get your kids out of school. Leave them in the school building. They go over protocols for that specific reason. They are safe in that building. That building's the most safest spot for them. If that happens, you focus on yourself. You get yourself to safety at this point here. Okay, so Cane Hill, Perry Grove, Farmington, and up towards Fayetteville. This is the area that we're going to have to keep an eye on here. Further to the north and east, the Lowell area, Springdale, Rogers. I'm keeping an eye on this situation. Right now, it's moving at 25 miles per hour here. So you've got well over an hour to watch this storm, see what it does, see if the rotation continues, and then we go from there here, guys. Okay, so what I'm going to do for just a moment, like I said before, not taking anything away from our folks up here in northwestern Arkansas, I am keeping an eye on my folks out here in western and southwest Arkansas. Looks like we've got an area of rotation that's getting going that is just over Highway 8 right now. We're going to keep an eye on it here. If this goes to a warning, it's going to be for our folks over here in Mount Ida, Highway 270, etc. We'll keep an eye on that situation here. Further to the south and west, same thing. Looks like we've got some areas of rotation that is over here near the Dirks area, the Center Point, Nashville area. Like I said, none of this is on the ground doing damage. I haven't heard anything. Our team hasn't heard anything for emergency management. So please keep that in mind. But treat these warnings as if they were tornado warnings, you guys, because along this line itself is where the tornado threat's going to be. Not only the tornado threat, but the damaging wind threat and the hail threat remains in place as well here, guys. So we're going to go back up to this tornado warning up here. This is where the priority is going to be right now, because this is where the tornado warning is. Like I said, not taking anything away from southwest Arkansas. It's just whenever we have severe thunderstorm warnings over tornado warnings, we prioritize the tornado warnings first before the severe thunderstorm warnings here, but that doesn't mean we're ignoring it. We've got an entire team that's going to be answering questions, that's going to be posting stuff on the page and stuff like that here. So I'm curious to see if they're going to extend this tornado warning. If it does get extended, it will be for our folks in the Morrill area, Cane Hill, potentially as far north and east as Perry Grove. Anyone that's traveling on Highway 62 right now needs to kind of keep an eye on the storm. Fortunately, just based off of the last couple of scans, it does look like the rotation is starting to die off. But that's, like I said before, that's something that we'll just have to keep an eye on here. Right now, using our other product here, which I'll switch back over to real quickly. Right now, not seeing anything that this is, putting any damage on the ground or anything like that. This is what we call the PTDS, or the potential of tornado debris signatures, or anything that's showing debris. This wipes out everything else on the radar that's just showing, like, it's just producing debris, is on the ground, etc. And right now, just looking at this area of rotation where the tornado warning is right now, not seeing any of that here, which is great news at this point. Okay, so we'll go back over to our other product real quickly here, guys. And right now, that's going to be near Hale Mountain Road. I feel like I'm butchering that name. I do apologize if I am. But right now, that's going to be right along State Highway 45, south of Highway 62 at this point. Looks like we've had a huge uptick in power outages here across southwestern Arkansas, now up to 8,900, which I can do this real quickly. So give me just a second. Looks like I've got it. Yep, I've got it pulled up. So if you guys give me just 1 second here, I can get that shown on air. So I'm going to scoot this over, and we're going to get the power outage total shown up here, guys. So this is going to be your power outages across the state right now. Looks like we are now approaching a little over 8,000, getting close to 9,000 people without power at this current point here, guys. So something that we'll have to continue to monitor here, not only the tornado threat, but also the damaging wind threat here with these storms here. So far, I have not heard anything of this thing being on the ground, doing damage, or anything like that here, guys. So right now, like I said before, just continue to monitor the storm here in northwestern Arkansas. I'm going to look and see what's going on right now here. Okay, so let me see. Not really seeing anything right now here, guys. Okay, so right now here, I want to stress that I have not heard anything per emergency management that this thing that we've had any confirmed tornadoes down there in Southwest Arkansas or in West Central Arkansas. Obviously, if that changes, I will let you guys know. But I have not heard anything. Chandler works for emergency management down there. He hasn't heard anything. We have not heard any official reports that this thing was on the ground doing damage, etc. If it was, I'm very confident that the National Weather Service would have put a tornado warning out for that. But right now, the only tornado warning in the state is going to go for our folks up here in northwestern Arkansas. And fortunately for us, it does look like this area of rotation is starting to broaden out. And hopefully, if this trend continues, we can get rid of said tornado warning here. But regardless, we still have to monitor the situation very closely here. Anyone that is in this area, continue to kind of monitor the situation here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take off the road network here to kind of clear the map off. And let's do this. And I'm going to leave the county roads up just in case that tornado warning does get extended. And we're going to take a look just kind of along the line itself here, guys. And I understand that there's a lot of anxiety right now here, guys. I understand that, you go outside, you see this dark cloud, you immediately think it's a tornado. Folks, I have not heard anything per emergency management that we've had any confirmed tornadoes here in Arkansas. That's just not from me. That's from emergency management. I have not heard anything. If that changes, obviously, we will be the first to let you guys know. Right now, what I have heard is a bunch of wind damage down here in Southwest Arkansas, especially for our folks over here that's going to be in the Sevier County area, etc. The Foreman law enforcement reports trees down in Foreman. Right now, looks like Chandler, if you can let me know if it's wind damage or tornadoes. Right now, everything I have heard is wind damage, and that's something that I feel like is being ignored right now. But it's going to be a real possibility, especially along the line itself, that you're going to have that tree damage from winds 60 to 70 miles per hour with this line of storms that's going to be pushing through here. So power outages right now looks like we are still at the 8,000 level. Wouldn't be shocked if this thing breaches 9 or 10,000 within the next couple of minutes here. Let's go and go back up to the north here. Looks like that tornado warning still remains in effect for our folks up here in northwestern Arkansas. Right now, the area of rotation is going to be right over the Morrill area here. Chandler says so far wind damage. Have not seen anything on any CC drops, which is your correlation coefficient, or what we call your debris detection. Haven't seen anything right now here. So there's a tornado warning here. Where's that tornado warning going to be? There it is. Going to be for the Mena area. And that's the area that I was keeping an eye on. That we had looked. That's going to be just to the east of the Mena area over here in Polk County, POLK. Let's go ahead and take a look at that here. Like I said, not taking anything away from northwestern Arkansas. That tornado warning still remains in effect. But this is going to go for Scott, Polk, and also Montgomery counties over here until 3:15 this afternoon. If one of my guys can do me a big favor and let Abby know about this potential tornadic storm here. It looks like it's going to be just to our north. It's going to be just to our north and west, excuse me. So she should be good to go here. But anyone that is going to be east of Mena, west of the Mount Ida area, make sure that you're taking your tornado precautions immediately. Get away from windows, put as many walls to yourself and the outside as possible, and get to that lowest center part of your home immediately at this current time here, guys. So, like I said, not taking anything away from our folks up here in northwestern Arkansas. Looks like that tornado warning still remains in effect until 3 o'clock. If they extend it, one of my guys let me know. But right now, this is where your other tornado warning is going to be. So let's go ahead and take a look at the storm here. It's going to be just to the east of Mena or just to the west of Mount Ida. Let's take a look at the rotation here. Once again, same thing. Along the line itself, what we call QLCS, these brief, weak spin-ups along the line. It's generated this tornado warning here. So anyone that's just to the west of Mount Ida right now needs to be seeking shelter immediately. Get away from windows. Put as many walls to yourself and the outside as possible. Gets that center, lowest part of your home immediately at this point. Anyone that is along Highway 88 or just south of Highway 88 or along Highway 8 right now, that's going to be in Polk County. And also this is going to be in Montgomery County as well. Make sure that you're taking your tornado precautions immediately here. Get away from windows. Put as many walls to yourself and the outside as possible. And get to the lowest level of your home immediately at this current time here. Okay, so I'm double checking a couple of things here, guys. So, like I said, we're keeping an eye on everything here. It looks like I've seen a comment here that said our sheriff said that there was one on the ground. That's going to be for Polk County. Looks like that kind of was why the warning was generated. Like so before, if we hear anything, let me know. What I would highly recommend is if you see anything like that, please report it to the National Weather Service. They're the ones that control the tornado warnings and stuff like that here. So if you get anything like that, please report it to them so they can get the warning out. We do not control the warnings here, guys. The National Weather Service in Little Rock, National Weather Service in Tulsa, National Weather Service in Shreveport, they're the ones that controls the watches, the warnings, and stuff like that. So if you see anything, please report it to them here. Right now, we're working on getting that confirmed, but it looks like that's coming from the sheriff's office here over there in Polk County here. So someone's going to check into that and see what's going on here. But we're working on getting that confirmed. Regardless, guys, if this thing is confirmed or not, tornado warnings in place, you need to be seeking shelter immediately, especially my folks that are traveling right now on Highway 8 and also Highway 270 at this current time here. So give me just 1 second here. Okay, I had to get a drink of water. I do apologize for that. So right now, looks like the tornado warning still remains in effect. That's going to go for southeastern Scott County, east central Polk County, PLK, and northwestern Montgomery County here until 3:15. Looks like the tornado warning to the north of their northwestern Arkansas has been dropped per the National Weather Service in Tulsa. So now we get to focus to our folks down here in west central Arkansas. So I'm going to move this over to Little Rock's radar, and we're going to take a look at this real quickly here. It looks like for just that brief second, looks like we had a vortex signature over here. So right now, not really seeing anything that this thing is like currently on the ground during damage or anything like that. We'll go over to our debris indicator. Looks like I'm not seeing anything right now. We'll keep an eye on that. Like so let me go over to this real quick. So this is going to be our debris detection real fast. And it's going to be coming up here in just a minute here. Let me clear this off. So it's going to be coming up here shortly here. Looks like it's using the Fort Smith radar here. So the problem we have over here in West Arkansas is this is between the Fort Smith radar and also Little Rock's radar here, guys, here. So we're looking at it right now. I haven't seen anything that would indicate that this thing is on the ground doing damage or anything like that. Regardless, if it is or not, you still need to treat it as such, especially if you are under that tornado warning right now. But I haven't seen anything. We're passing along trying to get it confirmed, if the National Service confirmed it or something like that. But regardless, guys, right now, tornado warning remains in effect. It doesn't matter if it's on the ground or not. The tornado warning still remains in place. And this is something that we're going to have to continue to monitor here, guys. Okay, so let me double check a couple of things here. I haven't seen anything outside of that one comment about the sheriff's the sheriff that reported it over there in Polk County. That's the only one, PLK, by the way, not Polk County. That's in west central Arkansas. That's the only one I've heard so far. But I haven't heard anything from the National Weather Service or anything like that this thing is on the ground confirmed or anything like that here. But regardless, you still need to be taking your tornado precautions immediately. That's going to be on 270, Highway 88, Highway 8 over here in West Arkansas. That's near the community of Board Camp, the Odin area, and just to the west of Mount Ida here, guys. So looks like I said, we're checking into it. We're getting it confirmed. Thank you, Chandler. Thank you, Taylor and Abigail, for getting that worked on right now here. But right now, per the National Weather Service, which that type of report needs to be going to the National Weather Service in Little Rock or Shreveport. I have not heard anything of them saying that this is on the ground here. But if they can get that information to the National Weather Service and confirm it, that would be awesome. That way we can get the ball rolling. And if this thing is on the ground here, we need to, get the warning out pretty quickly here. But right now, per the National Weather Service, this thing remains what's called a radar indicated tornado warning, not a confirmed tornado warning right now. I want to make that crystal clear. But for right now, it's going to be right over Sulphur Springs Road. This is west of the community of Mount Ida, or just to the east of Mena and east of Highway 59 over here. So something that we'll continue to monitor. Like I said before, I want to stress right now, I know everyone's so weary about tornadoes. Regardless if this thing produces a tornado or not, you still need to treat it as such here, guys. Okay, don't worry about it being confirmed or radar indicated. Don't try to go out and confirm it yourself unless you're emergency management. Your number one focus right now needs to be getting to safety. Okay, Don't try to go out and confirm it yourself. That's why we have folks out there. That's why I have emergency management. That's why we have people out there that are working and trying to get this, trying to see what's going on. But your primary focus right now, if you're under this warning, is getting this safety. Also, like I said before, just kind of echoing what I mentioned before, a lot of folks, especially parents, are going to be worried about kiddos, especially in the Mount Ida area, the Odin area, anyone that's on 270. I want to stress that if a tornado warning gets issued, do not attempt to try to get your kids out of school. I want to make that crystal clear. Most schools are not going to let you do that because that's putting a kid in harm's way in that particular situation here, guys. Okay, so please keep that in mind. I know that's one thing you don't want to hear as a parent, but please rest assured there's a reason why they go over those tornado safety protocols in schools. All school districts recommend pretty much is a mandatory protocol that they go through every spring, every fall, etc. There's a reason why they do that, and it's for situations like this. So if tornado warning's in place and you're trying to get your kids out of school, do not do it. Okay, let the tornado warning expire, let the storm move on, and then we go from there. But what you would do in your situation is you find a most center part of your home and put in as many walls for yourself and the outside as possible here, guys. Okay, so right now, just kind of looking at this right now, this is where your area of rotation is going to be. For folks that are watching right now up there in northwestern Arkansas, the tornado warning up there has been dropped. We do have a flash flood warning now that are starting to become a problem over here. Looks like that's going to go for Polk County, P-O-L-K, and Scott County until 6 o'clock. Looks like we've had 1 to 3 inches of rain, 1 to 2 inches of rainfall expected across the area. So this is going to lead to flash flooding here. So flooding is going to start to become an issue similar to the last event that so many people got upset about. Flooding is going to start becoming a problem, not only with the tornado threat, but the flooding threat over here as well across western Arkansas. So going to watch the situation closely. This is south of Highway 88. There's another area up here that is going to be along Highway 28 now, or just south of Highway 80. That's going to be trying to get going here. This is north and east of the community of Y City. This is just south and east of Waldron. So this is another area that we're going to have to keep an eye on here. So you're noticing the trend here. Let's kind of collect ourselves real quick. So you're noticing the trend where you're having let's draw it out real quickly here. 1, 2, 3, and I would dare even say 4 up here. 4 areas of rotation starting to get going along the line itself. That's going to be the trend today. That's going to be your number one thing that you're going to have to watch for is these areas of rotation. They're going to be brief. They're going to be weak, but they're going to happen with little to no warning here. So obviously the National Weather Service is really going to be trying to get the warnings out as quickly as possible, but at the end of the day, they are human. So this is a situation where, these storms are going to develop. They're going to produce this rotation. They're going to die off. They're going to continue to kind of do this cycle over and over and over and over again. So you see where this is going. So anyone that's along this area here, that's along Highway 250, that's 270, all the way down to Highway 8 right now here. If you're under a severe thunderstorm warning to a pause, let's go ahead and treat it as a tornado warning just in case. For those that are watching this, if you're a school administrator and stuff like that, I know you have to have the official tornado warning, not just a severe thunderstorm warning. It has to be an official tornado warning. Let's go ahead and get that that protocol ready to go just to be on the safe side here, guys. So I'm going to double check Roku real quick because I'm seeing that there's some issues over here. So bear with me for just a minute because I have a device back over here just to kind of keep an eye on it for test purposes. I'm going to see and make sure that this is up and going on our end. One of my guys can make sure and double check because I'm seeing it kind of going in and out. So let me double check that real quickly here. Looks like we're good. Okay. All right, we're good. All right, so looks like that's going up on. It's good on Roku right now here, guys. So anyone in these areas, make sure that you're taking your tornado precautions immediately at this point. It's like power outages now are 11,610 without power across the board here, and that's going to continue to kind of uptrend over the next couple of hours as this line of storms pushes towards the east. So right now, this is where the area of rotation here. Now keep in mind, there's multiple areas of rotation. This is not going to be a situation today where you're going to have this one defined area of rotation here. It's going to be, like the previous events where we had the supercells and there was this one lone storm that was producing the rotation. This is not going to be the case today. This is going to be a case today where the entire line itself is going to have that area of rotation along it, and that's where you're going to have to watch for that tornado threat here as this continues to move off towards the east here. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to clear this off, and I'm going to put a new track. And then what I'm going to do here is I'm not just going to focus on just the tornado threat here. I'm going to focus along the entire line itself, and I'm going to move it to the east at about 45 miles per hour. So Pencil Bluff, Black Springs, Norman, Mount Ida, Cattle Gap, Glenwood over towards that's going to be Danville, Crystal Springs, Plainview, Perry, Ola, Mount Pine, Centerville, and also the Casa area. Any one of these areas, make sure that not only you're watching for the tornado threat here, but you have your devices charged, because regardless if this thing produces a tornado or not, 60-mile-per-hour winds is going to be a real problem with these storms. As a matter of fact, let's take a look at that severe wind tracker here, guys, and you can see this is what we've got at this point here. Now, along the line itself, I'm going to clear off a couple of things here so it makes it a lot easier to read on the map. So I'm going to take this off, and I'm also going to take off a couple of the roadways real quickly here. So this is going to be the case at this point here, guys. Okay, so give me just a second. Okay, and all right, so that's going to be it right now here. So I haven't heard anything. I'm double checking a couple things right now here. So I haven't heard anything of this thing being on the ground or anything like that, which is great news. But I will say that these 60 to 70 mile per hour winds will continue to be a big problem for our folks over here. So I'm going to switch this over to Little Rock's radar real quick. And if it will let me, give me just a second. There we go. All right, so there's Little Rock's radar here. And what I'm going to do for just a moment is I'm going to take off special weather statements here. We're going to focus on just the severe thunderstorm warnings and the tornado warnings at this point. So right now, as you can see by this pink, you can see that 60+ mile per hour winds moving through the area right now. Also, what I'm going to do real quickly here is I'm going to put on the counties here, because I feel like there's a lot of people that are trying to figure out where this is right now and stuff like that. So I'm going to turn the counties on along with the cities. I want to stress, if you look just under my camera, it's going to tell you exactly where the counties are and where it is in the state right now here. So we're looking at the storm that is going to be in Polk County, P-O-L-K, and Montgomery County. This is in west central, or you could technically say southwestern Arkansas here at this juncture. Now, further to the north, that tornado warning has been dropped. However, 50 to 60 mile per hour winds will continue to be a big problem for anyone that is along the line itself. But what we're going to do here is we're going to focus on the tornadic part of this storm here. So that's going to be in east central Polk County, P-O-K, western Montgomery County, and in southern Scott County at this point here. Okay, so I'm going to put a line of storms. I'm going to put a track for this entire line. That's what I meant to say. And we're going to put this all the way down. I'm going to take this at about 45 miles per hour here. So that's going to be the list right in here. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to put it kind of like this. So that includes not only just the tornado warning itself, but that also does include the severe thunderstorm warnings as well here, guys. So double checking a couple of things. Let's see. Double checking a couple of things. So let's see here. Okay, so I see that post, by the way. Like I said before, I'm working on getting that confirmed per the National Weather Service. I know he reported it. If he can get that to the National Weather Service, that'd be awesome. Looks like they're still trying to work on that as of 3/11. Right now, other than that, I have not seen anything else. And I'm double checking a couple of things here, so give me just a minute. So I have not seen anything else. I know that's the newest update with that. So let me see. Looks like as it stands right now, I haven't seen anything outside of what the sheriff posted. But other than that, right now we're still going to treat this as if it were on the ground here, guys. Okay, so tornado warning, regardless if it's on the ground or not, you still need to be taking your tornado precautions being here. Now, keep in mind, I may be completely wrong, and this thing may have been on the ground, and there could have been a situation here, and this is what makes this so tricky, by the way, because I will take accountability for this. This is a situation where the National Weather Service are human beings at the end of the day. There could be a situation where it did touch down briefly, and it could have been unwarned. And that happens all the time. That happens all the time, especially in setups like this, where you get these brief, quick spin-ups that happens with little to no warning. That could have happened. My biggest thing was making sure that it was verified. That's the number one thing, because anxiety's through the roof right now, and we don't need any unverified reports in the comments, guys. Okay, because storm anxiety's through the roof. Anything that we report on air or even in the comments needs to be 100% from either emergency management or from the National Weather Service here. So I will take accountability for that, but that's something that we're still trying to figure out. We don't know if it touched down, if it was unwarned. That's something that we're still trying to figure out at this current point. It looks like they have dropped the tornado warning for Polk and Montgomery County. Let me double check and make sure. Nope, it's still in place, I think. Let me double check and make sure on that real quick. So there's the flash flood warning. Let's see, the tornado warning still remains in effect here, so I'm not sure what happened there with that tornado warning. Not sure why it went off the screen like that. But let me double check a couple of things here. So let me see something real quickly here, guys. So okay, so it did cancel. Okay, so the tornado warning for southeastern Scott, east central Polk, and northwestern Montgomery counties has been canceled. The tornado threat has diminished and the tornado warning has been canceled. However, large hail and damaging winds remain likely, and a severe thunderstorm warning remains in place for this storm here. So the tornado watch remains in effect until 5 o'clock this afternoon. By the way, I did see that mesoskill discussion. There will be a downstream watch that we will have for our folks in Central Arkansas, etc. We will get that information out as fast as humanly as possible. But right now, looks like that tornado warning has been dropped. So what we will do, like I said before, just kind of addressing that situation earlier on, where they had a report of a tornado touching down southwest of Grannis. That could have been a situation that it could have been unwarned, and that happens all the time. And I want to kind of let you guys know about today's setup here. Arkansas has seen a lot of severe weather this past spring, a lot of severe weather in all types of forms of severe weather in terms of large hail, flooding, and mainly tornadoes here. So far, with the last couple of events, we have had what's called supercell tornadoes here. So basically, you'd had a storm that's developed all by itself and produced tornadoes here, and they've been kind of, with the storm itself. It hasn't been associated with a line or anything like that. Today is the first time the entire spring that we've had a line of storms, that has had these brief rotations along the line itself. This is something that you would typically see in early spring, but early spring just got jump started very, very quickly. So to kind of address that situation over there could have been a situation that he saw it touched down, and National Weather Service couldn't react fast enough, and it didn't lift it back up. That happens, especially with this type of situation here. So before we get off air, I want to make this crystal clear to everybody that's listening. I don't even know how many people we have. If a warning gets issued today, there is no lollygagging around. There is no TikTok challenge. There is no, I'm going to pull a Twisters and go outside in the lawn chair and see this thing coming. None of that today. These are going to be situations where the rotation develops and it produces. It's going to be lightning quick. And your reaction time needs to be just as fast. If you're traveling, if you're planning on traveling, etc., this is something that I'm keeping in mind throughout the day, is that if a warning gets issued, I'm trying to find a gas station, I'm trying to find a restaurant, etc., because you're not going to have a lot of time to react today. I want to make that crystal clear. This is not a situation that you're going to go outside and see it. You're not going to see these tornadoes today, guys. They're going to be along the line. They're going to be rain wrapped. If a warning goes out per the National Weather Service, or we have a situation where Scott, reports a situation like that, and National Weather Service can't react fast enough, take those warnings seriously. Okay, that's going to be the situation today. This is not a setup where you're going to see this plains type tornado that's going to be rain away from the rain, and you're going to be able to see it from miles away. It's not going to be like that at all. These potential circulations today are going to be along the line, and they're going to be rain wrapped. So by the time you do see it, it's too late. You're already there. It's too late. You can't seek shelter because you're already near that circulation. So make sure, before we get off air, make sure that if you get under a warning this afternoon or this evening, that you are taking it seriously. You're putting your safety, and not only just your safety, everybody else's around you safety in place, and you're getting to that safe spot. Remember, when you deal with any kind of tornadoes, that is the center, lowest part of the structure. That does not mean getting into a crawl space or anything like that. We're talking inside the structure itself, not outside, inside, okay? That is getting to that center, lowest, most interior part of your home. That is what you do in these types of situations here if another tornado warning gets issued here. So far, right now, the tornado warnings have been dropped. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put a line, put a track for the entire line of storms here across western Arkansas, and this is going to be moving to the east. I'm going to clock it at about 40 miles per hour. So Lamar area, Danville, Hope, the London area, Darnell, Russellville, Pottsville, Arkadelphia, Lake Hamilton, Hot Springs Village, Batnet Cove, Malvern, all the way down. If you see your city on that list, you make sure that not only that you're being aware of the tornado threat, but this line of storms is producing power outages. I want to make that clear. A lot of folks are ignoring the damage to wind threat. Power outages are going up rapidly. As you can see, up to 12,000 customers without power now. So charge your devices, make sure that you have your stuff ready to go here, because this is producing power outages as this continues to move off towards the east. Another thing, this is going to be kind of a kind of on the back burner risk, but flash flooding is starting to become a problem, especially for our folks over there in western Arkansas. So if you're traveling, you go under a flash flood warning, remember, turn around, do not drown, do not try to go over a roadway that is covered that's inundated with water. Okay, you want to find an alternate route, or in any situation here, you stay at home. Okay, but if you got to get out, you find an alternate route around flooded roadways, and then you're going to be good to go here, guys. Okay, so as it stands right now, Heidi, Chandler, Abby, you guys double check me real quick, make sure that we don't have any other tornado warnings or anything that's fixed to get ready issued. And then I think we're good to break away from coverage on Facebook temporarily until another tornado warning is issued. I want to make this crystal clear. On YouTube, it's 24/7. If you have us on Roku and Fire TV, it's 24/7 weather. I want to make that crystal clear, okay? Facebook, we're not going away. We just can't keep a live stream going unless it's tornado warned because of the algorithm. When Facebook fixes the algorithm, we will gladly have a 24/7 stream on Facebook. But until that gets fixed, we're just going to be going live for tornado warnings. That way we maximize how many people are watching and how the information is being shared out here, guys. Okay, so no tornado warning on anyone's end. We're good. So what we're going to do, we're going to break away from coverage for right now. Radar updates are going to continue on Facebook. Be sure to check us out on YouTube, Roku, and Fire TV for your 24/7 weather. That's all I got for you guys right now, and we'll continue to keep you guys updated right here, your source for all things Arkansas weather.